Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into something that is honestly mind-bending. We're unpacking the profound biological link between extreme trauma and physical disease. We'll be looking at the astonishing limits and the incredible capabilities of the human body through a gripping, thoroughly documented case study. Let's get right into it. We are tackling a pretty radical question here. How much power does our internal state actually have over our physical biology? Like, can our thoughts literally make us sick, or conversely, heal us? To answer this, we're going to look at a story that feels like a Hollywood thriller, but I promise you, it is entirely rooted in human biology and neuroscience. Part 1. A sudden, tragic nightmare. Our story kicks off on what felt like a completely normal, picturesque Sunday afternoon back in June of 2007, with a woman named Anna Willems. To anyone looking from the outside, her life was picture perfect. She was a highly successful psychotherapist and board member in Amsterdam, just lounging comfortably in her red leather chair, reading a journal article, listening to her kids play. She was totally unaware that a simple knock at the door was about to completely shatter her reality. Two police officers arrived with literally the most devastating news imaginable. Earlier that morning, her husband had jumped off one of the tallest buildings in the city's center. It was fatal. In a fraction of a second, Anna's breath just stopped. She started shaking uncontrollably. As the source text describes, the hormones of stress completely overtook her, plunging her instantly into a severe biological state of shock. Which brings us to part 2, the biology of chronic stress. To really grasp what happened next to Anna's body and why it matters so much for our own understanding of human health, we've got to look under the hood at the raw mechanics of survival. When we experience a severe threat, our sympathetic nervous system flips the fight-or-flight switch. Your pupils dilate, your heart rate spikes, and a massive amount of energy is mobilized. Blood is literally shunted away from your internal organs and rushed to your arms and legs so you can fight or run away. Short term, it's an incredibly effective survival mechanism. But here's the massive catch. Organisms just cannot endure emergency mode for extended periods. In nature, an animal gets that burst of energy, escapes the danger, and goes right back to balance. Human beings, though, we have these huge brains capable of endlessly reliving past events. Every single day, Anna was chemically experiencing her husband's suicide over and over again in her mind. Her body couldn't tell the difference between the actual tragic event and the memory of it. She was unintentionally anchoring her brain and her body to the past, locking her biology in an unending state of emergency. So this raises a critical and honestly terrifying question about human biology. What actually happens when these intense survival chemicals never turn off? Well, when all of your body's energy is diverted to dealing with a perceived outer threat, there's absolutely no energy left in your inner environment for growth, repair, or immune defense. Let's move to part 3. The downward physical spiral. For Anna, this 24/7 state of fight or flight triggered a catastrophic cascade of physical illnesses. This wasn't just in her head, it was literally destroying her tissues. 9 months after the suicide, in 2008, Anna woke up paralyzed from the waist down. Her confused, compromised immune system was attacking her lower spine. By 2009, painful ulcerations spread through her mucous membranes, plunging her into clinical depression. And then came the absolute darkest moment, a diagnosis of esophageal cancer in January 2011. To give you a sense of just how severe this physical burnout was, her body was so exhausted from this internal chemical war that just doing simple everyday things caused her heart rate to spike over 200 beats per minute. She was sweating and gasping for breath just trying to exist. The medical danger here wasn't theoretical, it was incredibly lethally tangible. Part 4. Rewiring Mind and Body. So it's 2011, and Anna has hit absolute rock bottom. She's lost her job, her finances, her physical mobility, and seemingly her entire future. But then she makes a radical decision. A friend invites her to a neuroscience and epigenetics workshop, and a thought sparks in Anna as she's sitting there on her crutches. She thinks, wait, if I created the life I have now, including my paralysis, my weakened immune system, and my cancer, maybe I can uncreate everything with that exact same passion? She realized she had essentially become addicted to the chemistry of her own suffering. Breaking that addiction meant making a terrifying choice. She stopped her conventional treatments, stepped away from the people who reinforced her identity as a victim, and went all in on rigorous daily meditation.
She forced her mind out of that familiar, painful past and started wiring it into a newly imagined, healthy future.
Now, this wasn't easy given her physical limitations and those deep-seated fears, but she started doing standing and walking meditations. By repeatedly pairing a crystal-clear intention with elevated emotions, we're talking joy, love, and immense gratitude, she actually stopped firing those old neural circuits of trauma. According to the source material, she was literally rewiring her brain and signaling brand new genes, shifting her biological state out of the past and entirely into a new future.
And that leads us to part 5, healing and the mystical.
What happened next wasn't just a physical recovery. As Anna pushed the boundaries of her practice, she experienced a massive shift into entirely new realms of human possibility. Medically speaking, her transformation was flat out miraculous. By September 2013, a thorough checkup revealed she was completely cancer-free. The tumor vanished, her mucous membranes and paralysis healed up, and eventually even her normal saliva production completely returned. And not only did she heal physically, but by 2016 she founded a highly successful psychiatric institution. But her healing journey unlocked something else too. Through her intense meditation practice, Anna began accessing what the source text calls the quantum field. She was experiencing these profound states of consciousness where she was completely free of her physical body, her disease, and her past identity. She entered a space of pure information, totally independent of linear time. Check this out. During one specific meditation in upstate New York, she receives this super vivid, full sensory vision. She sees herself healthy, vibrant, wearing very specific clothes, speaking to a massive crowd from a stage, telling them the story of her healing. It felt more real than her actual physical reality. Miraculously, a year and a half later, at an event in Barcelona, she gets invited on stage and she finds herself living out that exact vision down to the very last detail. Unbelievable, right? The source material actually connects these transcendental experiences to a specific biological center, the pineal gland. When activated through specific meditative practices, the text suggests this tiny little gland acts as a sort of cosmic antenna. It allows the brain to tune into frequencies and realities that exist entirely beyond our normal three-dimensional physical senses. The source text even dives into the author's own intense, mystical episodes alongside Anna's. It describes these wild moments where consciousness tunes in to infinite dimensions simultaneously. In one vivid meditation, the author experienced a past incarnation as a rugged philosopher in ancient Greece or Turkey, enduring severe physical torture for his teachings, yet viewing it all with a heightened, superconscious awareness from the present moment. It really illustrates the sheer vastness of the human mind once it's untethered from survival mode. So, the ultimate takeaway from Anna's extraordinary medical recovery and these deep mystical accounts is that we are absolutely not linear beings trapped by our past. The text suggests we possess the biological and spiritual machinery to completely reshape our reality. But the catch is, it requires us to change who we are being, chemically and emotionally, right now, in the present moment. So, I want to leave you with this. As you reflect on Anna Willems' incredible documentary-like journey from unimaginable tragedy to absolute triumph, ask yourself, what reality are your thoughts creating for your body right now? Are you endlessly looping the biology of your past, or are you ready to wire your brain for a completely new future? It's a massive question, and the choice is entirely within you.